Taking time to sew out your decorative stitches will be so helpful. You've got so many on your machine, and when you see them actually sewn out on fabric, they are going to look 10 times better than what you're going to see here. So take some time. I like to usually cut up some fabric, little stabilizer, or at least double it up, make sure it's heavy enough. If you've got denim, that's a great base fabric. Your stitches will show up wonderfully. And just start going through the menus and stitching them out. So I've got another one here. You can just place your presser foot right next to your previous row that you've done, and then just keep kind of lining it up. It's actually quite relaxing as you watch your stitches stitch out. Maybe do them in variegated thread. They really look fun here. And of course, with decorative stitches, you can go ahead and adjust anything from width to length, and you can manipulate the stitch to fit the project you're working on. Now, one thing that I like to do is I'll usually just sew a row, and then I'll touch the pattern in button. It's the second one up from the reverse button. It has a little triangle with the line at the bottom. Pattern in means go ahead and finish. Oh, I was right at the end. I'm going to sew one more. So once I start a pattern, I'll touch it, and it beeps, and so it will just sew to the end of the pattern and stop for you. So you get a nice complete stitch on your samples that you're doing. And look how fun that is. Isn't that beautiful? And every stitch has a personality, and I always love it because when I sew one out, I'm like, oh, I could use that on and I get inspired as I watch these stitches come out. So take the time to go in and try out your decorative stitches. Let me just show you real quick. We'll do one more. We want to lengthen this one out, for example, and we'll compare it. We'll just do like one more here. We can spread it out. You can do this with your walking foot that you purchase. So you can do this with any of your, or oftentimes I'll use an open toe foot, number 20. Touch the pattern end. I like to just take one stitch and start to play with it. You can mirror image it. You can flip it, so instead of the scallops or kind of leaves here going this way, they'll go that way. Then you don't have to turn your fabric, get it all hooked in here. So there's lots of things that you can do to a stitch. Just try it out, and you never know what you're going to come up with. And one more thing, for prettier looking decorative stitches, take your bobbin case. You'll notice there's a hole in the finger. We thread this little hole when we do buttonholes. That's so the bobbin thread helps pull the top thread to the back side. You have to kind of go at an angle here. Let's try this again. There we go. All you have to do is kind of just thread it through. You can see it going right from the regular tension now through the finger, and then put that back into your machine, and that's going to give it more tension, and those stitches will pull to the back side, which makes them look perfect.